Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about the HelloFresh subscription service. Now I can show you some inserts of the items that come in a HelloFresh box just to give you an idea of what you're looking at when you get one. But today's video is less about how does HelloFresh work and what's in the box and all of that sort of thing, and more about my reasons for canceling it. So if you're interested in seeing with a little bit more detail how one of these subscription boxes work, keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be doing a Blue Apron video in the next few weeks. I actually had a lot more success with Blue Apron, so I feel like if I'm going to invest the time in letting you know like what's so great about a subscription service, I would rather do it for a kind of a brand or a product that I feel far more positively about. So I'm going to do that for Blue Apron. But for now, I just want to talk to you about basic, bare bones subscription stuff and what it was about HelloFresh that didn't do it for me. So I think when I'm looking at these kinds of things, especially for the food ones, as opposed to like beauty boxes or other categories of subscription boxes, what I'm looking at rather, are three things. One is there's ease, and I'm looking at that more for you guys and less for myself, because frankly I love grocery shopping, I love cooking, I love everything that has to do with food, which is why I have a lifestyles channel that includes food as part of the categories of things that I discuss with you guys. So for me, although I appreciate the ease, I love that this box comes to my door and has every single thing I need in it, because as much as I love cooking, I do occasionally forget that one ingredient, just like everybody else does. That's more of a factor I'm looking at for you guys. Ease might be the only reason you are doing a subscription box, and I think that is obviously a great reason, because most of us are extremely busy, and if you're really busy, you might not have time to get to the grocery store to get every single thing you need to put together a meal. And a lot of you I know absolutely loathe the grocery store. So that in and of itself is going to be worth it for you. So ease is definitely a factor, and that exists for all of these boxes. And in fact, I would actually say that of all the ones I've looked at, HelloFresh is the one that probably wins all of the stars in that category, because they put every single thing for every single meal in one long box. So you're not, unlike Blue Apron where everything is just in a box, they just throw in everything that you need for all the meals, and then the cards tell you which of those things to fish out for that meal. For HelloFresh, you just fish out that box, and then I think your meats are usually separate. So it's like you pick out your meat, you pick out the box that has every single other thing, and convenience. So HelloFresh wins in that category. The second thing I look at is cost, and of the ones that I subscribe to, they tend to fall into the same range. So cost is a very personal thing. I think some people, I have friends who are like, $60 for 3 meals is a great deal. I would spend more than that, because maybe they go to the grocery store and just pick up whatever looks good, and maybe they don't think about what's on sale and what isn't. Whereas other friends of mine are very aware of what things cost at the grocery store. They know what's on sale, they know what isn't. Some of them, especially my real foodie friends who will hit multiple grocery stores, which I totally do, will know that, okay, this place has great meat, this place has great veg, and I'm going to go to both of them to get everything. So for them, cost is a factor in the sense that they could probably do these meals better and cheaper. And for friends who aren't really into that and just pick up whatever at the grocery store, cost is not an issue. So cost is a very personal thing, and it's up to you, for you to decide whether $60 for 3 meals, 2 servings of each, so basically 6 meals. $60 for 6 meals, is that a deal, or could you do a little bit better than that if you went to the grocery store on your own? The third thing is the one that I want to talk to you about, and that's the category that I look at when I'm trying to make my decision, and that is the Foodie Factor. And for me, if you've watched my channel at all, you know that most of my foodie videos so far have been like silly things like hybrids of food, and I usually call that series Amazing or Appalling, because I am completely tickled by like crazy food things. I love that Burger King did a Cheeto that's stuffed with macaroni and cheese. I love that there is something known as black water, which is literally water that is the color black. Like, I love stuff like that. And some of it is gourmet, like the black water, and some of it is just total fast food, complete junk food, and not something that you would eat regularly, and certainly not for dinner. At least I hope not. We've all done it, but it's not the what we're trying to do when we're making a meal for ourselves. So if you've seen those videos, you might think that I'm kind of like whatever about food. But the truth is that when it comes to food and when it comes to going to restaurants and also for subscription boxes for me, I am a bit of a food snob. So if you are more about getting a decent meal on the table, this might not mean as much to you, but I'm hoping that you'll still stay with me so you can understand where I'm going with this and why, because of this, I chose to not keep my HelloFresh subscription, whereas I still have my Blue Apron one. So when I pick out my meals, I want to be excited about what I'm getting, because part of the thing for me about these subscription services, because it's not about necessarily about money, and it's definitely not about ease. For me, it's about getting things that are really interesting, that are really different ingredients that I don't usually use, getting me out of my own cooking ruts where, as much as I'm a foodie and I love food, I still have the same tendency that most people have to go to my favorite spices and go to my favorite ingredients. And when I'm really tired and I'm really hungry, I will make the easiest thing versus the thing I really want to eat. And so when I get a HelloFresh or when I get a Blue Apron, the cool thing about it is I'm choosing things based on their excitement level, and I'm choosing things based on the fact that they would have different ingredients that I maybe don't have access to. And I'm also hoping that these meals are just really delicious. It's not enough for me that they're like meals. I could cook an meal like in my sleep. I want them to be really good. And I know this video isn't about Blue Apron, but just to give you the contrast, Blue Apron, when they hit a home run, it could be one of the best things you ever ate. And they've done that a couple times. When it's not a home run, it's usually good. It's the kind of meal that the people that I'm cooking for are like, oh, this is really good. I'm still a little bit like, if I were to cook this again, I'm going to add this, this, and this, and I'm going to omit that thing. But I know that that recipe is a good recipe, and it could be better if I just zhuzh it up a little bit. And I've never had a bad recipe from Blue Apron. I have never hated anything that I got from them. At the worst, it's like it was kind of like it had potential to be really good and it was just okay. You know, that's the worst case scenario. And you can fix meals very easily to make them better. Like, you just can. If you know how to cook, you can. And if you don't know how to cook, you still end up with something decent. It's a decent meal and there's plenty of food. And I just think that Blue Apron is worth doing if you're looking at a subscription service. By contrast, when I go to pick up my HelloFresh meals, now I appreciate them because initially Blue Apron was making it really challenging for you to pick the meals you wanted. Like, the minute you pick one, it would block out all your other choices. And so you were sort of forced to pick like these three or these three for the most part. There was a little bit wiggle, but not much. HelloFresh was like, here are your options, choose whichever you want, which I really appreciate, and I think that's worth saying. The one thing that they did that bothered me a little bit is that they would give you like a bonus choice that would cost an extra $10. And that's when cost became a real issue for me, because that was usually the meal that I wanted. That was usually one of the ones that I thought, okay, that I'm actually looking forward to. And it would be $10 more. And then I thought, well, now I'm paying $30 for a meal, and I know what things cost, and I know I can make that meal for less than $30 if I go to the grocery store. Like, it's not that fancy, you know? So anyways, that's when that became an issue for me. But the bigger issue is that I was never excited about the meals except for the one that cost $10 more. And that when I got the meals, my stuff wasn't as fresh as it was in my other box. I had a couple things that I had to throw away, and I used them within the right amount of time. I had to throw them away, which means I had half meals, or I'm running around looking for stuff in my own fridge for when I go grocery shopping, which I don't mind doing, but again, the whole point of this is to not have to do that. And so I really took issue with that. I've had friends make their salad from their Blue Apron box, and this even happened to me once, where it was like, oh, I should have cooked that a couple days ago. But the salad still ended up being amazing, which I don't understand how they did that, but bonus points to Blue Apron for being able to do that. HelloFresh, I made my salad in the amount of time that it was that they told me that I should eat this meal, and I had to actually toss out the entire salad. So I was left with, instead of a two-part meal, I was left with one part of a meal, and like I said, I had to kind of like find a way to finish making that meal. And then the other issue I had was that I just did not find them to be good at all. I just really didn't enjoy them. When you look at the cards and you look at the ingredients, they look like they'll be decent meals, but I found them to be completely bland. And I just felt like, whereas with the Blue Apron and the style of food that I choose there, which often is like a little bit more ethnic and gourmet, I feel like it's as easy as I'll just up the garlic a little, I'll up the salt a little, add some sort of spice, and it'll be like good. Whereas with the HelloFresh, I feel like the recipes were simple enough that, yeah, I totally could have upped them. You could up anything. But they're just a different kind of recipe. They're very simple. They're about being clean and healthy. And I'm not going to compare them exactly, because it's not exactly apples and apples. It's more apples and oranges. But at the end of the day, I still want to enjoy what I'm eating. I was never excited about the choices, except for the expensive choices. Even those weren't that great. And at the end of the day, I had to throw away a lot of food. And ultimately, even if I cooked everything right away, nothing just really tasted that good to me. Honestly, it was either completely bland or it just wasn't good. And when I get these boxes initially, I follow the recipes to the T, because I want to see what they're sending me. And then as I order more and more boxes, then I'll look at it and I'll go, okay, this recipe looks good, but I'm going to do this to make it better. So the feedback I'm giving now about HelloFresh is me following the recipes exactly. I did not change anything. I'm cooking them the way they were meant to be cooked in the allotted time, and I was very, very, very disappointed. So for me, as somebody who wants a really delicious meal and ideally something a little extra or different, I did not get that from HelloFresh. I know there's people out there who love HelloFresh, so please don't take offense that that was not my opinion. It's just that for my taste and for what I'm looking for it being really inventive, really different, super flavorful, I love that their stuff is healthy, but for me, it should still taste really good. And so no offense to anybody who thinks HelloFresh is amazing. It's entirely possible that you love it or that you would like it a lot if you tried it. But personally, as somebody looking at it more as a foodie delivery service and less as a healthy food for the sake of convenience service, I was not happy with HelloFresh. So I definitely am not keeping that subscription service. I am canceling it. But I would say to you, if you still are very curious about it, if it appeals to you, if you've watched other videos or read reviews where people said it was fantastic, I think you should definitely check it out. But I would highly encourage you to find a coupon code for it, so that at the very least you're either getting it for free or for cheap, because I just think it wasn't worth it. And if you're getting it for free or cheap, then you're just trying something, nothing lost, right? And there's just codes floating around like on Facebook and on other social media. So if you are interested, I highly encourage you to find one of those codes. But for me, it's definitely something I'm going to cancel. It's just not for me. The meals were not satisfying. They weren't tasty. Some of my stuff was going bad, and I still think it's a lot of money to spend, especially for recipes that don't have much heft or weight to them. So anyway, that is my kind of brutally honest review of HelloFresh. I hope this was useful to you in some way. And again, please don't take offense. I know sometimes people are kind of bothered when they really like something and somebody said something really negative about it. This is just my opinion based on what my needs are and what my wants are for a delivery service of food. You could feel very differently. In fact, I would love to hear if you have tried HelloFresh or any other subscription service. Please comment below and let me know how you felt about it. I'm always interested in hearing other people's opinions. So anyways, that is my brutally honest opinion about HelloFresh. Please, if you enjoy this video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about a subscription service, whether you liked it or didn't, please share that below. And also, please subscribe to my channel for more foodie and beauty and other lifestyles videos. I post on Fridays and Saturdays, and more often than not, I post Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with other bonus videos when I have them to share. I enjoyed spending time with you, and I look forward to spending more time with you in the future. Take care and have a great day.